Alright, so we'll do revision of quadratic today plus some parabolas. Starting with the first question. Quiet, please. Okay, so the first... It doesn't work. Okay, alright. So for the first question, you just expand the negative. So you get 3x plus 7 minus 2x plus 4. So the answer is x plus 11. Okay? Alright. And then, so be careful with the minus in between. The minus in between means you're subtracting them. There's an invisible one in front, which you have to expand. Yeah. Well, the first one, there's nothing, right? So you just stay the same. The second one, you go times both. You get that. -1, invisible -1. Yeah. Because this is different from, if I write it like this, it means times everything. It was like that, right? That's what I do. If there's nothing in between. Okay? Alright. Let's continue. So go back here, times these two. Okay, next question. Next question times both by C, so CA plus CB. But be careful with times, you do CAB, which becomes ABC. Okay, any question? Right, see the difference between when there's a plus in the middle and there's a times. You do completely different things. Yeah? Completely different. CA times CB. ABC square. Yeah, that's what you're thinking. You're doing this. This is wrong. You can't do CA times CB. That's wrong. Think of this example. Think of numbers. What if I got 2 times 3 times 4, right? What should the answer be? Would it be 6 times 8? It's just 2 times 12, which is 24, isn't it? Not 6 times 8. Get it? See the difference when it's a plus and a times? Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Next one. This one you do times both. You go like this. Okay? So you go PQ minus 4P plus 3Q minus 12. I think that's it. There's no like terms. People are still talking at the back. Hey. Alright, we need to talk about this now. Okay, any question? Alright, all done? Alright, let's continue. We'll look at some of the... Yep. Yeah? Yeah, you can't times both. Yeah, they're a different question. So be careful. So think of this way. Think of this is same as writing equal to C times AB. C times AB is ABC. Yeah. Alright, continue on. Hopefully remember the formula for perfect square. A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Okay? Alright, good. Next one, A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Okay. And the last one is difference of 2 squared, A squared minus B squared. Hopefully you can see the difference and similarity between them. And then we've got some harder one where there's a minus in front. How do you use the formula? So if you're going to square that, you're going to go... So you will use the second formula. So you try to use this. So how do I use it? You square the first one, negative P, bracket square. And then you go plus or minus 2AB. Notice I don't put a minus in front of Q because I've already put a minus there. Okay, so no minus in front of Q because I'm using this formula. You square the A minus 2AB plus B squared without the negative. So that's the same thing without the negative. And then plus Q squared. So your final answer will be P squared plus 2PQ plus Q squared. Okay? But if that confuses you, you can always write it as a double bracket. And you just go like this. You will get positive p squared plus pq plus pq plus q squared. You get the same thing. Okay, so you can do it the long way. Okay, right, try the next one. What would you do for the next one? You can still use the formula. Use this one to do it. So how do I use this one to do? So you go negative p squared plus 2 negative pq. Right? Your a is negative p plus q squared. And then you get p squared minus 2pq plus q squared. So that one uses this one. Okay? Okay, done. Alright, let's do factorizing. These are all the expanding you could get in the test, I think. And then we look at some factorizing. So we need to know what method to use for different situations, depending on whether there are 2 terms, 3 terms, or more than 3 terms. If there are 2, whatever number of terms, you always have to take out a common factor. So let's look for a common factor first. The first one has a common factor of 2x, so you take the 2x out, 2x plus 3, like that. And then you see, are there anything I could do? Is a difference of 2 squared? No, so you just leave it like that. How about the second one? 4 terms. Check if there's a common factor, there's none. And if there are more than 3 terms, you group in pairs. So you go f bracket f minus 6 minus g f minus 6. Note that I put a negative g out, which changes the plus to a minus. And then you see there's a common factor of f minus 6 to be taken out. And then the rest will be f minus g. Okay? Okay, how about the next one? Harry, get rid of the earphone. Don't need to be listening now. Thank you. All right, now close your laptop. Next question. There's common factor, there's none. And you check that's a difference of 2 squares. It is. So you go x squared minus 3 squared. That becomes x minus 3, x plus 3. Okay? So we've seen 3 different types. And then we'll continue with 3 terms. Always check this as your first step. Check whether there's a common factor. Okay? So for this one, there is no common factor. And there are 3 terms. It's a quadratic. So what do? Multiply 2 numbers to get 12. Add to get 7. What would that be? 3 and 4, isn't it? Right? So you get x plus 3, x plus 4. Done. Very easy. Okay. Get rid of the earphone, Nicole. Need to be listening to my explanation. Thank you very much. Alright, good. Next one. Next one, is there a common factor for the next one? There is, isn't it? Always take that common factor out. And once you do that, can you see it become an easier quadratic to solve? Quadratic to factorize. So you find numbers which multiply to get negative 6, add to get positive 1. So what would it be? Yep, anyone? Minus 2 and 3, good. It works. So you just go x minus 2, x plus 3. Very easy. Alright? So you take the 2 out so it becomes monic. Monic is very easy to factorize. And then we'll look at a case where it is non-monic, where you can't take out a common factor out. So once you finish, go to the next page. Done. Okay, next one. See, there's no common factor. So there are two ways to do that. I'm going to show you both ways. So the first way is what I taught my class last year, is to split that middle term into two parts. To achieve this, you first have to times 3 by the -5 first, which is -15. So find two numbers which multiply to get -15, add to get +14. Since the number is very close, one of them should be 1, isn't it? And the other one will be 15, but one of them will be minus. Which one will be negative? Negative will be on -1, right? That works? So unlike the harmonic one, you can't just put inside the bracket. You have to split that into 15t plus -1 or just minus t. Split that into two terms like this, right? And then you go in pairs. So that has a pair. So you get 3t bracket t plus 5. And the other one, there's a common factor of negative t plus 5. And you notice that there's a common factor appearing. So the common factor is t plus 5. So you take t plus 5 out, and the rest goes in the second bracket, 3t minus 1. So when there's no number, it's an invisible 1. And that's done. Alright, any question? Now the other way is, I didn't teach my class last year, but the other class learned that way, so I will show it to you as well. The other way, all you do is, you just write 3t, so that's method 2. 3t, and write 3t in both brackets, and also 3 at the bottom, because that is 3, so you just repeat that 3. Now notice the numbers we got before can be used. So see these two, these two numbers we're going to use. So you write 15 here, minus 1 there. So you don't have to split the term, but you have to write it like that. But once you've done that, you have to take out a common factor. So you take out any common factor. In this case, there's a 3. So take out the common factor 3, like that. And that 3 cancels. Your denominator has to cancel. And you'll notice that the answer is exactly same as before, just in different order. Okay? So you can get it this way. And there's the last way, this is just the cross method, but maybe you don't have to learn it. Alright, you only have to learn one way, either this way or that way. Okay? Some of you may prefer this, some of you may prefer that. Both have advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, I think maybe method 2 is a little bit easier. Okay? Alright, yes, any question? Otherwise, we're going to do algebraic fractions. So all the factorization helps you to simplify algebraic fractions. So we're going to simplify some algebraic fractions, which involve factorizing quadratic. So let's factorize the quadratic. So when you multiply, you take out any common factors. So we take out, so we have to factorize the denominator, which is equal to x minus 3, x plus 2. And then we're going to do the next bit. Alright, and then the other bit is x minus 4, x plus 2 over x. And you'll notice that things get cancelled. Anything on the top cancel with anything at the bottom. So these two cancel. And that's all, isn't it? So anything left over, you just put them next to each other. So you write x minus 2 in bracket, x minus 4. At the bottom, put x in front, x minus 3. Is your final answer. What if you divide? Divide, you just have to times the reciprocal. So you do 2 over a minus 3, multiplied by the reciprocal. Then you factorize. So you take out any. So the first one is the difference of 2 squares over 6. And then the x minus 3 get cancelled. That. And in addition, the 2 and 6 also cancels. That becomes 3. So your final answer will be a plus 3 over 3. That's it. Right? That's your final answer. Alright, good. Have a think. So we have times, divide, we also have minus. So we'll do minus in a minute. See if you can. Again, you need to factorize first. Continue to record. So we're going to do our subtractions by same as addition. Subtract and addition are the same. You need to make them the same denominator. But before you do that, you have to factorize. So it will be x minus 2, x plus 1. So you should be able to look at mnemonic quadratic and factorize like this without doing a lot of working out. So you look at that's negative 6, so it must be x plus 3, x minus 2. So you should be able to do that very quickly. So we have to make them the same denominator. How do you make them the same denominator? The reason why we factorize because both of these has got x minus 2, isn't it? So you only have to give what's missing. So this one has got x plus 3 missing, so you give x plus 3 both the numerator and the denominator. The other one has got x plus 1 missing, so you give x plus 1. In this way, they have the same denominator. Once they have the same denominator, write them as a common denominator. X minus 2, x plus 1, x plus 3, right? So you write it as a common denominator, and then write 3 bracket x plus 3 minus 2 x plus 1, which you need to simplify and expand and simplify, okay? And collect like terms. All right, do that. Alright, so what do you get? You get 3x plus 9 minus 2x minus 2, isn't it? Over x minus 2, x plus 1, x plus 3. Alright, so we're going to subtract them. You get x plus 7. So we get that. Now, be very careful. When there's a negative, make sure that's also applied to the second term as well. Okay? Alright, good. Any questions? So this is all the factorizing and simplify algebraic fraction. Yes? Yep. You can't cancel, no, because that's x plus 7, that's x minus 2, x plus 1, x plus 3. Can you cancel the x? No. Cancel here. No, you can't. You can only cancel if it's like this, like x plus 1, x plus 2 over like this, you can cancel. But if I've got x plus 1 plus x plus 2, you cannot cancel. So you can only cancel when there's a times in between. So you can't cancel like this. And if you cancel, that will be wrong. You have to expand and collect like terms. Okay? Okay, all right. Okay, any questions? So this is factorizing, how to simplify algebraic fraction, how to subtract, same denominator, times, you just cancel, divide, reciprocal first, then cancel and factorize. Yep, that's all there is. And then after this, we're going to solve quadratic equations. Okay, so which is also related to quadratic, but we're now solving equations. Okay, all right, let's go to the next page. Right, next page, solving equations. So there are 3 different methods to solve quadratic equations. The easiest way, the fastest way is factorize. Of course, if you can factorize it, so this way you can just tell by look at it, x minus 6, x plus 2. And then what you use is the null factor law. So you write x minus 6 is 0, or x plus 2 is 0, and x equal to 6, or x equal to negative 2. So this is different from factorizing. This is solved by factorizing. So after you factorize, you have to find out what x is. Okay? Alright, good. After this, we have another method called completing the square. that applies to problems that we can't factorize, like this one. So what you do is you're going to write x squared minus 3x, move the 1 over, move the number without the x to the right. Notice that I left a gap because I have to add something. Did I record? Yep. Alright, so what do I have to add? Yes, square of half of 3. So you write 3 over 2. Do not write 1.5 because I want to leave it as a fraction. So when you solve equation, use fraction instead of decimal. Okay, they are better. So you write half of this square. Now, we don't have to do anything to the 3 over 2 square because that becomes a perfect square. And remember what to put inside the bracket. The stuff inside the bracket is x minus, because that's a minus. If that's a plus, you put a plus, minus 3 over 2. You just have to copy down what you wrote without the square, of course. Okay, so that's completed. On the other side, you got to add them. You can use a calculator or you can do it by hand. So you do -1 plus bracket 3 over 2, close bracket, close square, like that. Just start on the calculator, you get 5 over 4. And then you can solve it. Okay, let's solve. So you go, how do I solve it now? You just have to square root. Square root this. And then you have to put plus and minus. Okay? Yep. 3x. Oh, that's a good question. What happened to the 3x? So basically, when you expand something, so if I just do it on the side there, if I go a plus b, or a minus b squared, a minus b all squared, you get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Actually, I'll do one with a number. So say you got something like x minus 3 all squared. So you get x squared minus 6x plus 9. So if I go back to complete the square, I write x minus 3 squared. See, there's -6x is gone. So that's why it's gone, because I'm going backwards. Yeah, okay. All right, good. All right, after this, we square root, you get plus or minus square root of 5 over 4. And then you rub this off, get a bigger rubber. That's very easy now. Okay, good. Okay, now let's continue. So what do we do if it's a fraction? Make sure you split into 2, equal to plus and minus square root of 5 over square root of 4. Now, why do I do this? Because square root of 4 is 2. So you need to write plus or minus root 5 over 2. Now, after we do this, you have to make x the subject. So make sure you move this term to the right. So you write x equal to plus 3 over 2, like that. And then make them the same denominator. But I prefer to write the 3 in front because it looks nicer that way. Okay? So that's the answer. All on one page. Okay, good. All done. Okay. Now there's another method to do this. It's called using the formula to do it. Let's also look at that as well. We're going to solve the same equation using quadratic formula. Okay. So let's do it in green, purple. Okay. So what is the quadratic formula? You need to remember that minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. Let's write it clearly. So it's minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's the quadratic formula which you have to memorize. Please highlight it if you can. Alright, good. Alright, so field. Okay, right, got it? Okay, now after we do this, what do? We're going to use the formula. So a is 1, B is -3, C is 1, okay? And then you go x equal to -3 plus and minus. Make sure you put a bracket, -3 square on your calculator because it will give you a different answer if you don't. Minus 4ac over 2a, 2 times 1. Okay, well then we'll continue. And then what do we do after this? You should simplify it without putting everything on your calculator. So make sure just type this in on your calculator separately. So you do bracket, -3, and then square, but put a bracket around it. Minus 4ac, 4 times 1 times 1. You get 5. So you have to write square root of 5. Because it's going to be a decimal if you don't do it that way. If you just put in the square root. So 3 plus or minus. So you see it's very quick, isn't it? It's quicker than the completing the square. Some question will ask you to use the completing the square, so you have to use this method. You can't use the formula. So the formula can be very quick. Alright, good. Any question? Alright. Another thing is called the discriminant. There's a symbol for discriminant, which is the delta symbol in Greek. It's equal to b squared minus 4ac. Basically, it's just the stuff inside this quadratic formula. That's called the discriminant. And that tells you if the discriminant is positive, we say it's 2 solutions. If it's 0, you get 1 solution. And if it's negative, you have no solution. So you need to be able to answer this and interpret the meaning of discriminant. For more details, refer to our lesson on that topic. Okay, you can watch the video again. Alright, that's the things about equations. And then we're going to look at parabolas. Then we'll finish. Then we'll give you a worksheet to do. The worksheet is on your table. You can start on that after I finish parabola. Okay, finish. Let's move on. Okay, parabolas. Hopefully remember last year at the end of year 9, we did shifting parabolas. Shifting right, left, up, down. The plus h is up, h unit. The minus means down, h units. And the plus k has a reverse, left, h units. And this one is right, k units. K units. Okay, good. What else are there? K units. So basically we're going to look at equation of this form. So that this thing is vertical shift. This thing is horizontal shift. And the A in front tells you whether it is concave up or down, depending on whether it is positive or negative. So if A is positive, it's concave up, concave down, it's negative. Oh, so annoying. Alright, okay, all done. And of course, the bigger value of A involves a narrow parabola or wider, etc. Okay, these are all the information. We're going to apply this to the graph below. We'll do 2 examples, then we look at another type. Okay, so these are the shifting ones, so you need to know how to shift parabolas. Alright, let's move on. Okay, let's look at this example. Now we're to draw this, we have to look at what this do to the parabola. What does the plus 2 do inside the bracket? What does it do? Left 2 units. Okay, and then the other one, the one is up 1 unit. Okay, so basically you have a parabola originally here, which I could use a special pen to draw. The special pen will be this. So this is the original one, and then it's going to be shifted to the right. So we're going to shift that to the right 2 units and go up 1 unit, right? So again, let me draw this again. All right, so this will be shifted. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we'll rub this off. So we're going to draw this thing again. All right, and then we'll go back to the other pen. Okay, left 2 units. Yes, so left 2, up 1. So we end up in, maybe get the vertex. So that's your vertex. The corner is -2, 1, like that. And then the parabola, the blue one just disappeared, will appear over here. So that's where it is. And we call that point, the one at the bottom that I just labeled, this is called the vertex of the parabola. I need to extend the y-axis so that you can see what the y-intercept is. So there's a y-intercept you have to work out. To work out the y-intercept, you have to substitute x equal to 0. So you get y equal to 0 plus 2 squared plus 1, which you will get 5. So you get 5. Okay? And of course, you always need to do these things like x-axis, y-axis. Alright, good. That's done. And that's finished. After this, we're going to continue. Try the next one. Have a try. Have a try first. Now, keep in mind, the next one has a negative, so it's concave down. Okay? I'll try the next one. I'll pause the video, and then I'll come around, have a look. Alright. Going downwards. Okay, so this one, you have to look at, this is right 3. This is up 4. This is concave down, because it's negative. Okay, so we're going to label x and y axis like before, shifting right 3 and up 4. Okay, so we're going to go right 3, 1, 2, 3, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So get your vertex, which is 3, 4, like that. And then what you should do is, it's going to concave down, isn't it? So but before we concave down, let's work out information like the y-intercept. To get the y-intercept, all you have to do is just put x is 0, y equal to negative, bracket, 0 minus 3 squared plus 4. You square the negative through, which is positive 9, but then there's a minus in front. So the answer is actually negative 5. So cross the y-axis at negative 5. Okay, let's draw this. So it's going to go like this, like that. Okay, good. So we draw the concave down parabola. And you can see that in this question, they cross the x-axis, which you find the x-intercept. So how do you find the x-intercept? X-intercept. So what you do is, you just make y 0. Like this. And then what you do is, you move the x plus minus 3 squared on the left side, and then square root, which is equal to 2 plus or minus, and the answer will be equal to 3 plus or minus 2. Alright? So you get 3 plus 2, which is 5, or 3 minus 2, which is 1. So cross at 1 and 5 as your x-intercept. Alright, done. And then there's another one we're going to do, which is a little bit, which is different, which is not about shifting. We're going to do that soon. Okay. Alright, all finished? Okay, let's do that. Next page. Alright, good. Next one is not shifting. Next one is entirely different. So this doesn't involve shift. This one's like that. It's like a trinomial. So what you need to do is, the first step they tell you to do is to factorize. So you got x plus 5, x minus 3. And then you find the y-intercept by substituting x is 0, which is negative 15. Find the x-intercept. Because it's factorized, just put y equal to 0. So you get this. And using the non-factor law, you get x equal to negative 5 or positive 3. So we'll find the x and y-intercept first, rather than the vertex first. Now, once you get the x-intercept, you can find what we call the axis of symmetry. Okay? Axis of symmetry is the average of the two x-intercepts. So you do negative 5 plus 3, add them together, divide by 2, and you get positive negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. That's your axis of symmetry. And once you get axis symmetry, you can then find the vertex. So another word for vertex is turning point. That means the vertex. And you substitute the x value back into the original one. So we write y equal to x squared, y equal to the factorized form. So we write y equal to x plus 5, x minus 3. Substitute x equal to negative 1 into x. Like that. Negative 1. So you end up getting okay, so you end up getting 4 times negative 4, which is negative 16. So your vertex or the turning point is just negative 1 comma negative 16. Okay? And then we're going to show all this information on the graph below. Alright, so how do we show this? So we'll first start with the x-intercept of 5 and negative 3. 5. No, it's actually negative 5, isn't it? Negative 5. So it's, rub this off, it's positive 3, negative 5. Negative 5. Okay? And your y-intercept is negative 15. Negative 15 is your y-intercept. Alright, good. So we got that. Now remember there's an axis of symmetry we found out earlier. That was negative 1. So that's your axis of symmetry. At negative 1. And on this axis of symmetry, you have a vertex, or the turning point. And then turning point has coordinate negative 1, comma 16, comma negative 16. Okay? So you got the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and then the vertex. The vertex is on the axis of symmetry. That's why you find the axis of symmetry first, before you find the vertex. And now it's just a matter of joining the points to get the parabola. Yep, the axis of symmetry is it's a line of symmetry, so it's halfway between the two parabolas, exactly in the middle. Alright, that's drawn. Make sure you label your x and y axis as well. Alright, good. Vertex and everything. Alright, any questions? Done? I just need to do one more question just to make sure you know everything. I've got this. I'm going to do add a page. Okay, good. On the blank page at the back page, let's write down one more question. Solve by completing square on this one. So it was 3x squared minus 6x minus 6x minus 6. Yeah. Okay. Would that work? Let's do minus 6. Maybe minus 7 to make it harder. Okay, minus 7. Actually, minus 7 is not good. Let me see. I haven't done it correctly. 6. After 9. Actually, 6 is good. 6 is good. 6 is actually good. Okay, 6 is good. Okay, sorry. Okay, 6 is good. Okay, so what you do is, how do you solve it if there's a number in front of x squared? What you need to do is, you have to divide every term by 3 to get rid of the number. So then you're going to turn it into monic. So by completing square, you have to get it into monic. Monic. When it is monic, you just follow the same procedure. X squared minus 2x equal to 2. And then you just have to add 1 to both sides. Add 1 square to both sides. Like that. And after that, that becomes a perfect square of x minus 1 square equal to 3. And to find x, you go square root plus or minus. And x is just 1 plus or minus root 3. So this one, be careful of this step. So what you need to do, divide by the coefficient of x squared first to turn it into monic. Turn into monic. To turn into monic. Monic. Okay, good. Close bracket. Alright, any questions? Then you can start the worksheet on the next page, which I put up on your table. So your first question, expand and simplify, just go like this. So you go x squared plus 7x plus 3x plus 21, which equal to x squared plus 10x plus 21. Alright, and some of you need to factorize, so you just go x. Alright, I'll leave it to you. Now the answers are on the Google Classroom. So if you need to check it, just go to Google Classroom. I think that's all. If you have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just stop there. Thank you. Alright, let me just save.